viewers, welcome to Roving Report, a program that gives an overview of the developments in India's northeast region. I'm your host Chandrakala and the highlights of today's program are: India-Myanmar discusses border management and security issues. Bollywood filmmakers expresses desire to make films in northeast. Border security forces of India and Bangladesh held talks on border issues. And Tangkhul girl wins tribal euphony solo hunt. India shares a large boundary with Myanmar and is affected by cross-border infiltration, militancy, arms smuggling and many other border-related issues. Both sides discuss issues of mutual concern during the 20th national level meeting in New Delhi. We have a report. Myanmar's Deputy Minister for Home Affairs, Major General Aung Soo, met India's Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh in New Delhi and discussed a wide array of issues including security, border management and consular matters. Aung Soo, who was heading the Myanmar delegation, earlier met Union Home Secretary Rajiv Maheshwari, who represented the Indian delegation. During the two-long meeting, security issues, including cooperation to check activities of insurgent groups along the international border, checking of arms smuggling, exchange of intelligence information, cooperation in prevention of drug trafficking were discussed. The two countries also held discussions on issues related to border management, including certain constructions in boundary areas. Joint inspection of boundary pillars and construction of additional boundary pillars on the international border was accepted by the both sides to avoid any confusion. India and Myanmar share an unfenced border of 1,643 km adjoining Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram and permit a free movement regime up to 16 km across the border. Several militant organizations from Manipur and Nagaland who are involved in violent incidents are using Myanmar border to hide. India has sought Myanmar's cooperation to share intelligence output in order to curb militancy in northeastern states. The next national-level meeting between the two neighbors is likely to be held in July next year in Myanmar capital Nay Pyi Taw. Well, the scenic beauty of Northeast has attracted many filmmakers. Now the famed Bollywood filmmakers have shown great interest to make use of breathtaking locales of the region in their upcoming films. Here's a report.
The Northeast India is known for its beauty. The region has every landscape that a place can ask for, right from valleys and hills to waterways and unending plains. Because of its unending sceneries, the region is any filmmaker's dream destination. Many nationally acclaimed filmmakers have ventured into these territories and many are eyeing into the region. During the recently held Brahmaputra Film Festival, the Bollywood filmmakers expressed desire to make a movie based on the Northeast and to display the charm of the region through their film.
जब भी कोई कहानी पहाड़ों में स्थित होगी तो मैं जरूर नॉर्थ ईस्ट में शूटिंग करना चाहूँगा। एक कहानी है जिसके ऊपर में भी प्रिलिमिनरी काम चल रहा है, अभी पूरी तरह से काम नहीं हुआ। जब तैयार अगर हो जाएगी और मौका लगा उसको बनाने का तो यहाँ बनाएंगे।
There were some renowned Bollywood films that were shot in the pristine locales of Northeast such as Jewel Thief, Koila, Daman, A Victim of Marital Violence to name a few. To encourage and to promote Northeast India's film industry and to bring forth the resources that Northeast region has got for filmmaking, the festival saw the screening of the award-winning films from the Northeast, including from Manipur, Assam, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. The screening of national award-winning film Headhunters, directed by Nilanjan Datta from Arunachal Pradesh, stole the show. Later, a panel discussion was held with Imtiaz Ali, director of movies like Jab We Met, Love Aajkal, Tamasha and Rockstar. Ali said that he is more a spectator than a filmmaker and is waiting to shoot a film in the Northeast very soon.
गुवाहाटी बहुत अच्छी जगह है यार, मुझे लग रहा है कि यहाँ के लोग बहुत रिस्पेक्टफुल होते हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा मेहमान नवाजी दिखा रहे हैं और दे वेरी काइंड एंड रिस्पेक्टफुल आई फील। जब लोगों से मिलता हूँ तो लगता है कि उनसे मुझे कुछ इंस्टिंक्ट मिलती है, कोई एटीट्यूड मिलता है और वही मेरी फिल्मों में आगे वापस लोगों तक पहुँच जाता है, तो ये एक सर्कल चल रहा है।
Besides, a short film contest was also organized, which provided an opportunity to the young filmmakers to work with the nationally acclaimed filmmakers, among which 15 short films were screened and 3 were awarded for their best filmmaking. Union Minister of Home Affairs Kiran Rijiju graced the occasion as the chief guest and gave away the awards to the winners. Along with cash awards, makers of the winning entries received chance to intern with the premier production house. At the event, Rijiju also launched the Brahmaputra Foundation, which will work on the 3 prime aspects of human resource development in the Northeast, such as education, skills and talent development.
Let us now take a look at some of the events that made news in the Northeast recently.
16 years after starting her path-setting hunger strike demanding repeal of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act or ASPA, Manipur's Iron Lady Irum Chanu Sharmila has decided to end her 16-year fast on August 9 and contest assembly elections as an independent candidate. Sharmila began her strike in November 2000 after 10 civilians were gunned down by Assam Rifle soldiers at a bus stop in Malom, Imphal. She also expressed her desire to get married after coming out of prison on August 9.
ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ democratic right powerꯁꯤ ꯌꯥꯎꯗꯅꯗꯤ ꯃꯤꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯂꯥꯎ ꯈꯣꯡꯂꯤꯕ ꯇꯧꯔꯤꯕꯁꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯤ power ꯁꯨꯡꯌꯥꯎ ꯌꯥꯎꯗꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯤꯗ ꯏꯁꯥꯃꯛꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯕꯟ ꯕ꯭ꯂꯣꯀꯦꯠ ꯑꯗꯒꯤ ꯂꯥꯏꯔꯤꯛ ꯃꯩ ꯊꯥꯕ ꯑꯁꯤ ꯈꯛꯇꯅꯗꯤ ꯑꯁꯤꯒꯤ protest violent ꯑꯣꯏꯕ protest ꯁꯤꯅꯗꯤ ꯇꯁꯦꯡꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯂꯨꯄꯥ crore ꯔꯣꯝꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ voting right ꯂꯩꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯀꯥꯔꯤꯕ politician ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ rulerꯁꯤꯡꯁꯤꯒꯤ मनादा कैसुमता चंगदे तादे।
आर्म फोर्स स्पेशल पावर्स एक्ट लगाने का 2 तरीका होता है, एक केंद्र सरकार लगाते हैं, एक राज्य सरकार लगाता है। मणिपुर में जो लगाया वो राज्य सरकार ही लगाया है, तो इसलिए वहाँ में हालात ऐसे हैं तो उन्होंने अपना जो इतने सालों से हड़ताल में थी, अगर उन्होंने उसको ख़त्म करने का फैसला किया तो बहुत अच्छी बात है।
The recent wave of flood in the state has so far affected 21,253 people in Dibrugarh district. As many as 33 villages in that district have been reeling under flood water. Among the affected villages, 16 are in Dibrugarh West Revenue Circle, 12 in Chabua Revenue Circle, 3 in Dibrugarh East Revenue Circle and 2 in Tengakhat Revenue Circle. People affected by floods in Assam have doubled from 6 lakh to over 12 lakhs now. At least 18 districts across the state are affected by floods. The situation is particularly bad in Upper Assam, where hundreds of villages in districts like Golaghat and Dhemaji are underwater. Apart from damage to homes, government buildings and roads, floodwaters have also inundated 60% of Assam's famous Kaziranga National Park and have entered over 40 forest camps manned by rangers in charge of protecting the endangered one-horned rhino. This had made animals at the park even more vulnerable to poaching. On the other hand, following incessant rains for almost a week, West Khasi Hills district was hit by a flash flood, the worst of its kind in a while, with Nongstoin being the most affected. Road connectivity and power services were also hit by the flood, which resulted from 6 days of continuous rain in the area. Along with the rest of the country, Meghalaya also observed the first death anniversary of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who is also known as People's President. To mark the first death anniversary of APJ Abdul Kalam, IIM Shillong, where the former president breathed his last during a lecture, organized a lecture series on making the world a better planet. Last year on July 27, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was rushed to Bethany Hospital after suffering a cardiac arrest, while he was delivering a lecture on creating a livable planet Earth to the students of IIM Shillong. He was a guest lecturer at the institute and had been coming there frequently. Naga lad Yandrain Jemio would participate in the third edition of Force Gurkha RFC India Extreme Off-Road Driving Competition to be held in Goa starting 25th July. A member of the Association of Off-Roaders Nagaland or AON and a mechanical engineer by qualification, Yandrain is the first from the Northeast region to participate in an extreme off-road challenge for the second time. Yandrain and co-driver Siddharth Santosh from Bangalore Off-Road Drivers Association are competing in the 1600cc petrol category while fighting for top honors out of 30 competitors from all over the country. The competition, which is the Indian version of the iconic Malaysian Rainforest Challenge or RFC, tests the endurance and technical ability of drivers on a track dotted by natural obstacles. With an aim to inculcate knowledge of modern science among the students of government schools, a two-day workshop titled Biocamp 2016 was conducted at Jorhat Science Center and Planetarium recently. The workshop was carried out by Mobile Service Laboratories Project with support from REMSA Jorhat under the theme Learning Biological and Chemical Science through Hands-on Approach. More than 100 students from neighboring areas also took part in the workshop. As a resource person, renowned scientists from Northeast Institute of Science and Technology deliberated the issues of health and disease and basic pharmacological principles and drugs used to treat a range of diseases. During the workshop, special topics on medicinal plants, food chain for ecological sustenance, identification of local medicinal plants, and chemistry in everyday life were also taught. Tripura continued to remain cut off from the rest of the country as its lifeline, the lone National Highway 8, earlier National Highway 44, which connects the state with mainland India, has been severely damaged in adjoining Assam due to incessant rains in the northeast region. The damaged highway and torrential rains is hampering repair work of the 20-kilometer stretch on the highway at Lower Pua in Assam-Tripura border, which has partially turned to slush. Due to the poor road conditions, thousands of vehicles, both passenger and goods, are stalled in the Assam-Tripura border for the last several days. People in Tripura are badly affected due to high prices of commodities as the goods carrier vehicles are unable to cross the area. A music carnival was held at Live Spring Corner in Dimapur town under the theme Meeting of the Free Thinkers recently. The day-long music carnival included music workshops on piano, choral music, violin, guitar, voice, etc. The festival was aimed at bringing music students from across the city together and disseminate music learning skills amongst the students. Abigail Audio, the brainchild behind the music carnival, is a student of Masters in Music Industries, Birmingham City University, United Kingdom. Hundreds of young people from across Dimapur flocked the carnival. Music instructors Normando Villas Jr. for guitar, Louis Shishak for violin, Aveno Audio for piano, Zerni Alyontan for choral music, Matung Audio for voice helped participants in brushing their skills. Meanwhile, Noshimba Handicrafts and Dolls of Nagaland were also set up stalls at the venue to attract more visitors. Five soldiers from Manipur who laid down their lives during the 1999 Kargil War were remembered on the occasion of the 17th Kargil Vijay Divas celebrations. Rajya Sainik Board, in collaboration with Red Shield Division, organized the event in capital Imphal. Prominent civil and military dignitaries also attended the event and paid homage to the martyrs of the Operation Vijay. L.M. Khaute, Deputy General of Police Manipur Major General Y.S. Srinivas, IGAR South, Major General S.S. Mishra, GOC Red Shield Division graced the occasion. Sepoy K. Ashuli Mao of Naga Regiment, Naik Kaleshar Kom, Naik S. Jinetham, Sepoy N.G. Benemvir Mayon, and Sepoy Chara Nicolas Mayon were remembered on the occasion for their services to the nation. The next kin of these brave soldiers were also honored and facilitated during the function.
Better coordination among the forces of two countries are required for better management and peace at the border. Recently, the border forces of India and Bangladesh held a meeting in Agartala to discuss strategy in handling border-related issues. A report. To control infiltration and smuggling with better border management remained the core issue during the talks between Border Security Force and Border Guards Bangladesh in Agartala. The 4-day meet was attended by a 20-member BGB delegation at BSF Frontier Headquarters. Issues like trans-border crimes, cattle smuggling, growing fundamentalist activities with ISI support, militancy were also discussed. Both sides have greater concern to stop cross-border crimes by completing fencing at the porous border.
There should be fencing all along, and we never deter Indian government to erect fences, because definitely it is required. If you would not have constructed, then we would have jointly constructed it.
Yes, it is required.
So it is required,
Criminals has to be checked.
criminals has to be checked.
Border guards of both countries have also decided to set up more border outposts to check trans-border movement of militants, smuggling and infiltration. While India will construct 508 new BOPs besides existing 1200, Bangladesh will set up 50 more in addition to its existing 35 BOPs.
The problems are continuing since ages, but every problem cannot be brought down to zero level. But we have been able to achieve drastic results in that. The first problem was initially, you must have seen with Indo-Bangladesh, was illegal immigration. Now if you see, you might have not noticed major illegal immigration from any part of the Indo-Bangladesh border, including this entire northeast. This is the major achievement. Second was this fence breaching, which used to be earlier very high. Now it has been reduced to quite a sizable number of figures. And trans-border crime, like crossing of militant camps across in Bangladesh, is almost now negligible.
India and Bangladesh share a 4,096-kilometer long international border, the fifth longest land border in the world. The border towards India's east and northeast remains high volatile due to frequent movement of militants and smugglers. Strict vigil and fencing from both sides of the international border will help curb the crimes. Clean India for a Green India, a humble initiative by the centre under the guidance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, brought to light many areas in need of attention with respect to a sustainable, clean and green environment. Taking forward this vision, several NGOs and environmental organizations have turned their focus on Garo Hills of Meghalaya, launching an initiative to green the hills. We bring you a report.
The picturesque Garo Khasi Hills in Meghalaya, the wettest place in the world, are inhabited by many tribal dwellers. To restore the green cover in the area and to keep the environment healthy, several NGOs and environmental institutions led by Aichik Tourism Society came together to launch the Greening Garo Hills campaign. As part of the initiative, activists took to planting saplings along the newly constructed National Highway 44, which connects Tura to Shillong.
Yano daw gatal highway o cha bolko gina aba cheha yako gina muksunganira ya chiring chibisko jirangon bol gacham wa gachamrang longacham yang daw ya highway ongo yang gemukon den phakna su phakna nanga yako ya garul sni mukhamra songkra bathena ya daldal po bolrang tongacham ndibi yang ara daw dongjaha iko 마이바닥게 제가 야 리바이브 같은 거 만나겠다 뭐 볼랑고 와랑고 제가 거대 지릉 지비식랑고 당나겠다 작겐청 거랑 이건 제가 야 쟁잘투 사만다 기잉아.
The green campaign aims to increase greenery in all the 5 districts of Garo Hills and to afforest the catchment area. Many youths joined the project and helped by planting saplings. The restored green cover is expected to increase the beauty of the place and also give a boost to the tourism sector.
NH44 je song noklang donga cham ya nokmarang baksa mili nangrome ya bolang ko giani ko chang dakhiya ya chingni bol giani ra bolang ko pungani aroba slroro namroro ani ko ni thuani ko ya highway gemko onani ko chinga muksoni ginga.
A total of 28 kilometers from Janjal to Samanda was covered under the campaign this year. The previous year, the campaign was organized at remote Gondagar village in West Garo Hills, which has been adopted by NGOs to make it a green model village. Garo Hills are considered one of the richest spots of biodiversity. This initiative would contribute towards the development of the region as one of the famous tourist destinations.
Well, peace and development is a buzzword in the Northeast. Let's take a quick look at some development news from the region.
More than 60 villages in western side of Jorhat district were inundated after Bagdoi river breached its embankment, displacing thousands of people. Most of the affected villages are still taking shelter in relief camps as the 90-meter breach is still undergoing repair. Water Resources Department of Assam has been engaged in repairing the damaged embankment so as to restore the normal course of the river. According to the district administration update on flood, about 22 villages in western Jorhat are still reeling under flood water. Nearly 100 laborers and local volunteers are engaged in filling geobags, boulder pitching, bamboo skin and spiral binding. According to a Water Resources Department official, the Bagdoi river is still flowing above danger level and they are working intensively to restore the river to its original course as it might cause more devastation in the western side of the district. A roundtable conference on bamboo regulatory regime and transit access in Northeast India was held recently at Nagaland Bamboo Resource Center in Dimapur. Organized by the Confederation of Indian Industry, representatives from Tripura and Mizoram also participated in the conference. Leaders at the seminar emphasized on the importance of bamboo, which can be used as effective means to improve the livelihood of the people. Naga tradition and customs on the use of bamboo were also highlighted. The discussions also revolved around Government of India's guidelines on bamboo transit, tax and regimes on bamboo transit, use of bamboo for livelihood, key issues for development and export of bamboo products, etc. Taking a cue from Delhi government, Tripura has decided to introduce odd-even system in a bid to ration petrol and diesel due to extreme shortages. Tripura has been totally cut off for more than a month from the rest of the country as an important highway connecting Tripura with the neighbouring Assam is in a dilapidated state. As a result, the supply of essential commodities including food to Tripura has been hampered. During a press conference, Tripura Food and Civil Supplies Minister Bhanulal Saha made an announcement that vehicles with odd registration numbers will get fuel only on odd dates and those with even registration numbers on even dates. The new system is being introduced to deal with fuel crisis and to check black marketing of petroleum products.
The people in Northeast region love music, be it folk or contemporary. To encourage talented singers and help them take up music as a career option, a music hunt show was held recently in Manipur. A large number of singers from the tribal communities also took part in the event. Take a look. These 7 artists reached the finale of the Tribal Euphony Solo Hunt 2016 after challenging 50 other contestants from at least 5 districts of Manipur. These artists belong to different tribal communities in the states such as Kuki, Tangkhul, Maram, Rongmei, among others. Organized by Tingtela Production, the idea of the show was to encourage young talented singers to opt for a career in singing.
There are a lot of tribal youths who have a lot of talents, but they lack platform. So we are creating platform as well as we are providing an opportunity for further improvement of their talents. And on the other hand, we also want to enhance the traditional attires of the tribals.
It's like a dream come true for me. Like, I'm so happy and glad that I could be among all these top 7. I feel like it's amazing and wonderful to be one of the top 7. I decided to join these competitions because I want to have an experience and want to bring out the talents that I've been given by God.
People of Manipur got the first-hand experience of this unique talent hunt show. The finale was kicked off with the famous Euro band song Final Countdown, followed suit by Bon Jovi's number It's My Life. 23-year-old Tangkhul girl from Ukhrul, Sanchui Phi Keshing was adjudged the winner. Besides a cash reward, she also got an opportunity of a recording deal and promotion for the Northeast Idols and Indian Idols.
We really didn't have like very hard time, but like the hardship that if I'm supposed to say, like sometimes we were given a new songs in a short period of time, and we really had to learn the songs like all night, and those were very challenging, but it was fun.
In its next season, the singing show will invite participation from across Northeast, thus giving a boost to artists from the tribal communities in the region. Well, viewers, with that we have come to the end of this episode of Roving Report. Do connect with us through our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter at AnyIndia_ANI. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel to get latest news updates from the Northeast. I'm your host Chandrakala signing off. Goodbye and take care.